Hello everybody, hope you all are doing well. I'm Kajuju and this is a deck check. I'll be giving you straight up gameplay and impressions of how well each of the various games work on the Steam Deck, as well as how the controls feel, what settings I'd use to get the game to run smoothly, and whether I personally would prefer to play this game on my PC or on the Steam Deck. I won't be doing any sort of deep dive into the performance or hardware of the Steam Deck itself. I will leave performance overlay on for FPS for you to observe as we go through this deck check. Timestamps are provided for you to get straight to the part that you are interested in, so be sure to check that out, especially if you just want to see gameplay with no commentary. So let's get started. The game we are checking out is Batman Arkham Knight. This game was released in June 2015 and is the last installment of the Batman Arkham series. Arkham Knight introduces the Batmobile, where you can drive around in it and neutralize criminals as you patrol Gotham streets. Batman faces the ultimate threat against the city that he has sworn to protect. Scarecrow returns to unite the super criminals of Gotham and destroy the Batman forever. At the time of this recording, the game's deck compatibility status is unsupported. According to the message box, it states that Valve is still working on adding support for this game on the Steam Deck. I am not playing this game on Steam, but instead on the Epic Game Store, since they gave the game away that one time on there. So even though I am not playing the game through Steam, the controls still work great out of the box. You can play the game with no fiddling of the controls by using the gamepad with mouse trackpad. The reason we are using the mouse trackpad is because we need a mouse to navigate the Epic Game Store menu, but that doesn't affect your gameplay over Arkham Knight. The rest of the controls work as you would expect for a Batman Arkham game. So if you played any of the other Batman Arkham games, then you will not have any issues playing on the Steam Deck. Gyro controls also do still work, even though I am playing Arkham Knight through the Epic Game Store. So you can enable that setting if you want to physically adjust your aim with the various gadgets that Batman has at his disposal. But unfortunately, I couldn't drive the Batmobile with gyro controls, since the gyro control settings only take control of your mouse and your right joystick. I didn't see a way for me to enable gyro controls for the left joystick, since the left joystick is what steers the Batmobile. So in this section, I will show you how the game looks on high, medium, and low, and my preferred graphics setting. Now, the game doesn't have graphic presets, but I did my best to judge what was medium and low. Here are the high graphics settings.
Scarecrow ain't going through with it. He's all talk. That thing will flatten us. I'm cold.
Here are the medium graphic settings.
You gotta hand it to Scarecrow. He's given us the keys to the whole city. The hell is that thing? It's a bat. A ton of
Here are the low graphic settings.
Finally, Gotham belongs to the right people. No way we're giving it back. Evacuate? Screw that. Scarecrow don't scare me. Batman's got a tank now? Guess we got him scared.
And here are my preferred graphics settings. With my preferred graphics settings, I get around 60 FPS when in small areas. When wandering Gotham City, it depends on what I am doing. Driving around the streets and causing havoc would get me around 35 to 50 FPS. Climbing rooftops and gliding around would get me around 45 to 60 FPS. Cutscene seems to perform well, and I would get around 47 to 60 FPS, but it does depend on what is happening in the cutscene overall. But most of the time, they perform very well. The game did perform very badly in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game. It could be because it was my first time launching the game, so everything was loading in for the first time. But as I played on in later parts, I noticed that my performance felt significantly better. I got major stutters when I first launched the game, but now I rarely get any stutters. Let me remind you that I am playing the game through the Epic Game Store, so you can most likely expect better performance from the Steam version, since Steam does a little extra pre-shader caching for your games to run better. So let's take a moment to talk about the battery life for this game. Now remember that battery life is dependent on many different factors, such as the general health of your device, FPS limit, and whether you have something downloading in the background or other applications open in the background. For my test, I have nothing running in the background that I know of, and I have a FPS limit of 60. But lowering it to 30 FPS should also increase the battery life, but for these tests, I only looked at 60 FPS. At the lowest brightness settings, the estimated battery life was 1 hour and 40 minutes. At the medium brightness setting, the estimated battery life was 1 hour and 35 minutes. At the highest brightness setting, the estimated battery life was 1 hour and 30 minutes. And from my experience, the estimated battery life is not that far from what it actually is, and is sometimes even on the spot. But I hope this gives you an idea of how long you can play Batman Arkham Knight without needing to charge. So Batman Arkham Knight is great on the Steam Deck. You can set the settings to the highest and it can be played, but if you want to reach your max 60 FPS, then you will need to lower the settings. But even with lowered settings, the game still looks amazing. The first 10 to 15 minutes of my playtime was a bit rough since I stuttered so much, but as the game went on, I had less and less stutters. And of course, just as a reminder, I am playing on the Epic Games Store version, so the Steam Store version may perform much better, but it still feels great to play the game on the Steam Deck. One little thing that bothered me was that I was unable to steer the Batmobile with gyro controls, since steering the Batmobile is controlled by the left joystick, while gyro controls only control the right joystick. But other than that, the controls feel great and work very well. This is the last Arkham game, and I'm happy to have been able to check them all out. I would probably play them fully if I had the time, but I'll probably just play Arkham Knight since I have never played that one before. I also want to note that the game works straight out of the box. I didn't need to do any fiddling to get the game to run. I was just on the default Proton 7.01 and the game worked just fine. Now, when it comes to whether I would prefer to play this game on my PC or on the Steam Deck, I would prefer to play this game on my Steam Deck. I know it would look and run so much better on my desktop PC, but it is such a great handheld game. It still looks great and performs very well on the Steam Deck. But let me know in the comments down below if you think otherwise, or if I missed anything you'd like to see for the next video. If there's a specific game you'd like for me to try out, feel free to leave a suggestion in the comments as well. I'll leave some gameplay after this outro for you to watch if you just want to see gameplay without any commentary. Also consider supporting the channel by leaving a tip. A link will be provided in the description below if you are feeling generous. Just be sure to read the messages before tipping. Yeah, so remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.
I'll improvise.
The winch needs a secure anchor point to function. Once it's attached, just hit reverse. And please be careful with the car, Mr. Wayne. She's one of a kind.
Die in the Asylum, but I will show you no such mercy.
The anchor point is secured to the wall. I can't move it using the Batmobile, but maybe it can hold the car's weight. I've restored power to the radio antenna.
Great. I'm connecting now. I was just talking to Robin. I think you should too.
Bruce, you need me out there. We can find Scarecrow faster together.
What you're working on is more important, Tim.
Can wait one night. Let me help.
I've got this under control.
Okay. Listen, try checking in once in a while. We're partners, remember?
He just wants to help, you know.
Is the antenna ready?
Yeah, but we're going to need a microwave tower to triangulate Scarecrow's location. There's one at Falcone's shipping in the Cauldron. I've marked it on your map.
Thanks, Oracle.
Don't forget, we gotta go see Penguin later. He's got something special planned.
The Batmobile's powering the antenna. I can't use it right now.
The Bat's not gonna like an impersonator. Should be interesting with those two feet. You're telling me. I wanna see that.
We're wasting time. We got the run of the whole city and we're stuck up here guarding some antenna. You heard?
Scarecrow's men are guarding the antenna. I need to evaluate the threat and plan my attack.
That happens. This whole operation falls apart.
5 soldiers, all armed. If I alert them, they'll kill the hostage, and need to reach a vantage point to draw them outside.
Scarecrow said he'd be here. If you ask me, he's paranoid. Probably huffing too much of that gas.
I'd like to see you say that to his face.
If I can separate them, they'll be easier to take down.
Hey, you hear that? Someone's out there. You two, go take a look. The door stays locked. I'm taking no chances. Got it, boss. No way we're screwing this up, you hear me? Ah!
I'm good for ammo. You guys let me know if you need any.
Three more soldiers inside. They think they're safe if they stick together. Lucius, I've got a hostage situation. 3 gunmen. I need to take them all out before they can react. Is it ready?
Flexible plates over an MR fluid armor layer. You'll move faster, hit harder, and look scarier while doing so.
Send it, Lucius. Now.
Already airborne, Mr. Wayne. let me walk you through it. The outer and inner layers of the bodysuit are made of a titanium-dipped tri-weave. It's between those layers where things get interesting. Wayne Tech MR fluid hardens in response to impact. With this kind of shock absorption, you'll be able to put more force into your counterattacks. The liquid armor's more flexible than the fibers you're accustomed to as well. You can use that increased maneuverability to take out multiple foes in quick succession. The suit's compatible with the Batmobile's electromagnetic eject mechanism too. You'll fly out of that thing like a bullet from a railgun. Speaking of which, the new grapnel launcher will pull you skyward just as fast. Don't worry, Mr. Wayne. That suit can take the G's. How's it feel, Mr. Wayne? I've activated the AR training program should you want to run diagnostics, or just break it in.
3 gunmen, 1 hostage. Time to put this suit to the test.
What the hell was that? You just calling backup? What's happening? Shut up! He's trying to...
The new suit is faster and more mobile. By getting close without being detected, I can get the jump on them, and in the panic, take down all 3 before they know what's hit them.
Help me! Man, they said you were quick, but I never saw anyone take down 3 armed guys like that. Unbelievable.
You're safe now. I'll send someone to pick you up.
Thank you. Hey, tell me you're gonna find Scarecrow. That son of a bitch needs to be stopped.
Not yet. I need to access the console.
Oracle, I've attached the uplink to the microwave tower.
Perfect. I made an anonymous call to GCPD. They're gonna send someone to pick up the hostage. Come on, connect. Love the suit, by the way. Okay, both towers are fully online.
Time to find Scarecrow.
I need to use both antennas to identify the micro and radio wave frequencies across Gotham. If I can find both frequencies at the same location, I'll know where Scarecrow is manufacturing his toxin. The radio and microwave frequencies point to Ace Chemicals. That's where Scarecrow's producing the toxin. Jim, I've traced the fear toxin to Ace Chemicals. That's where we'll find Scarecrow.
Impossible. I've had a team there ever since the evacuation started, just like you asked.
Crane must have bought them off. Or worse.
I'm in the area. I'll round up my guys and head over.
Hold off until I get there, Jim. I'm on my way.